And then Akaeka, I wanted to rope you in and bring you in because you are our resident MCU expert, our go-to person for all things Marvel Universe and the movies and the arcs and I guess we're coming up on is phase 4 now. Is that right? Now that we've finished up the sort of the Infinity War phase and moving into the new one?
Wait. What is phase 4? What happened to 1, 2, and 3? What is 3? What is the phases? I don't understand. You got to break it down for me. I didn't even know what MCU was.
Okay. So, in the very first Avengers movie, there was what you would call like an Easter egg. At the very beginning of the movie, before Loki shows up, they were evacuating the entire building. And he actually talks about phase 2, which no one really figures out what phase 2 is until later on in the movie when both Steve Rogers, Captain America, and Iron Man kind of do a little bit of background snooping and find out that phase 2 was them creating weapons of destruction using the Tesseract. Which is an unlimited energy source. So this is what the MCU fans use to dictate certain timelines and certain phases of the actual MCU universe. In this case, phase 4 is after the Avengers. What comes next?
Isn't there a movie coming out with Black Widow?
Yeah, there's a lot of spin-off movies coming out now.
Is that part of the phases?
I don't know how they're going to do that. Technically, she is dead now. So at the end of Endgame, or not the end of Endgame, but in the movie Endgame, she dies.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Natalie Romanoff dies in Endgame. When? Her and Clint Barton went to go get the Soul Stone, and one of them had to sacrifice himself, and she...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so...
What did you think had happened?
Yeah, she just took a nap?
Yeah.
Like, let me do this big boss battle, I'm going to take a nap. No, I'm taking a nap, that's fine. Yeah,
and
no.
If the dude from what's his facey, the girl that was green
comes back. She comes back from the timeline.
Whatever.
So no, wait, that's Akaeka. That's worth building on and sort of like getting, making it clear, because I think other people got confused about that.
Yeah, well, what's happening now is the fact that the Avengers itself, the Avenger franchise, is done. There's no more Avengers. I know that they wanted to do some more movies with Robert Downey Jr. To, have him do a few cameos. But he is no longer, technically speaking, he's no longer Iron Man. He might show up a few times as Iron Man in some of the movies. I don't know if he'll do like a show up in like the Black Widow movies or anything like that, or any of the Spider-Man movies or anything. Because I know with Spider-Man Far From Home, the latest Spider-Man that came out, he wasn't in the movie, but he was definitely announced a lot of times. So that's one thing you got to take into consideration. But the thing is, with Phase 4, it's not really the continuation of the Avengers. It's actually the next Avengers. Depending on how they want to do it, it will kind of really dictate on where these spin-off movies go. You got to think about it this way. Right now, the MCU universe is the largest continuation franchise that has ever been made. If you look at Star Wars, their collective movies only being about 10 movies long, Marvel Universe has them beat by like at least 4 or 5. So it's it's really difficult to see how far they're going to go and what they're planning on doing. It's a matter of fizzling out if they're going to.
So Akaeka, they have to potentially lay the groundwork for several movies. Like you have to go several movies without sort of this overarching narrative completely in place, like it was back, 10, 15 years ago with the first Hulk movie, with the first Iron Man movie. They had to be standalone movies and slowly introduce the arc. And so we're sort of back to square one with that in phase 4. Is that the right way to put it?
In a sense, yes. Well, you got to think about it this way: the Hulk movies kind of were they were the kickstart, I guess you could say. They weren't really the very beginning of the MCU universe, because that's why they didn't incorporate him in a sense. That's why they changed the actor to Mark Ruffalo, which I think is an amazing Hulk, by the way. But Iron Man was the first MCU universe creator. He was the first. That's why when he died, everyone said he died with him, because he started it. His first movie at the end did cameo with the general of the other Hulk movie, stating, hey, we're assembling a team kind of thing. And that's where everyone was like, oh, hey, now these two know each other. What's going to happen next? Then the next Iron Man movie came out, and then they started talking about other characters who were going to be in these other movies. And then Thor came out, and then Captain America, the Avengers, and it just exploded. The foundation is there. They have the scene set. All they need to do is incorporate the characters. They have Spider-Man, who was in the Avenger movies, but he still has a lot going for him. Far From Home, that was the first technical movie after Endgame. It literally happened right afterwards. It happened, everyone was talking about what happened and when everyone came back, how people adjusted, so the foundation is now set. The world is back to where it needs to be. How they are going to proceed with this, if they're just going to continue on with just day by day, movie by movie, and throw random characters into it, that's up to them. Me personally, I hope that they kind of do a little bit of what they were hinting at in the end of Infinity Wars and Endgame, with Iron Man and his daughter. My most excited thing is having the next generation of Avengers, the children, to supersede them, if you will, to succeed where their parents left off. Because I know in the Marvel universe you have like the Collector. He was in the Marvel universe quite a few times, but he actually becomes an enormously big pain in the butt bad guy. He does a lot of problems for the Avengers and so on and so forth. Then you have all these other big bad guys who are worse than Thanos, just come out of nowhere and start doing horrible, horrible things. So there's definitely more bad guys to be had, and definitely a lot more opportunities to play with. But truth be told, I think they're going to do some spin-off movies. We're going to do like maybe in the Peter Quill and Gamora movie, like Gamora in her days of being with Thanos, or maybe some Clint Barton when he went Ronin and started doing all that stuff. Like just a lot of where there was time lapse. I think they're just going to fill in with random movies and just let it fizzle and see where it goes from there.